Many people have a fear of flying, but that fear is usually unfounded because planes are statistically much safer than cars, boats or bikes, except when you are landing or taking off at one of these airports. These airports are notoriously more dangerous than others. So without wasting much time, let's look at the top 10 most dangerous airports in the world. Number 10. Paro Airport, Bhutan. There is just one option if you wish to fly to Bhutan. Bhutan's single airport, Paro Airport, is consistently ranked as the world's most dreadful airport. It's nearly a life or death situation landing there. Bhutan is a small country, primarily encircled by Himalayan mountains, and mountains are just not good for airplanes. They don't just surround the country, they also encircle the airport until the very last moment, forcing the pilot to navigate by seeing several rough edges and pigs while descending to the runway after one last extremely abrupt 45-degree turn. The pilots manage all of this despite battling with intense turbulence brought on by the strong mountain winds. The plane's passengers genuinely rejoice when it lands. They do this because they value the pilot's skills and because they are still alive. And what's even more astonishing is that there aren't many pilots who are qualified to fly to Bhutan. There are only 8 pilots in the world who are qualified to fly there, and even they can only use the airport during the day. Number 9. Gibraltar International Airport. The Gibraltar Airport was challenging to construct because it was the most unconventional airport. In fact, the runway crosses the city's main road, which is problematic for both ground and air traffic. In the history of the airport, close calls have happened frequently, making it a dangerous place. Due to the enormous rock of Gibraltar and the Bay of El Jacarus surrounding the airport, flying around is not a pleasant experience for the pilots. As if landing safely wasn't stressful enough, they also have to watch out for the cars. Not only this, pilots had to contend with severe turbulence and high gusts. Landings are very difficult because this runway ends at sea, forcing the pilot to control the plane with caution. So well done to all these pilots. Number 8. TONCONTIN Airport, Tegucigalpa, Honduras. This is yet another scary airport in the world. This is in a valley situated 3,294 feet above sea level. In order to land here, the pilots must execute a sudden 45-degree curve amid mountains, drop swiftly, and watch out that the aircraft's underside doesn't contact the ground below. This location also faces strong winds, which also makes the job of pilots much more difficult. The high summits must also be avoided by the pilot. Hats off to all these pilots. Number 7. Courchevel Airport, France. The Courchevel Airport has an extremely short runway that is only 525 meters, 1,722 feet. Pilots must ensure that they gain enough speed for takeoff in order to avoid falling off the cliff's edge at this airport, which serves the upscale ski resort of Courchevel in the French Alps. The runway also has a descending gradient of 18.6%, which further makes takeoff and landing difficult. Additionally, without using instrument procedures, pilots must maneuver their aircraft over the Alps during takeoff or approach. The only definitive rule is a no-go around because of the nearby mountains. Very scary indeed. Number 6. Princess Juliana Airport, St. Martin. Due to one end of its single 7,546-foot, 2,300-metre long runway being incredibly close to the shore, St. Martin's notorious Princess Juliana Airport is infamous throughout the world for its low landings over the ocean. As Maho Beach is so close to the runway, the airport has become one of the most popular locations in the world for the ideal Instagram shot. Landing jets appear to be just feet above the heads of the public just before touchdown, and takeoff generates enormous gusts of winds and sand for the sunbathers. But it's not risk-free. In 2017, a New Zealand woman lost her life as a result of wounds she received from a jet blast from an aeroplane that was taking off. Number 5. Madeira International Airport. International Airport in Madeira, formerly known as Funchal Airport, is located on the Portuguese archipelago of Madeira in the Atlantic Ocean and is regarded as one of the world's most hazardous airports because of its stunning design. After a tragic plane crash in 1977, the runway's length was increased from 1,600 meters, 5,249 feet, to 2,781 meters, 9,124 feet. 180 columns, some of which are over the ocean, that support the runway extension must sustain significant shock loads during landings. strong winds, tall mountains on one side, and the ocean on the other all contribute to the airport's risk. To land at the airport, pilots must take extra training. Number 4. Narsarsuaq Airport, Greenland. Narsarsuaq Airport, one of the 2 airports in Greenland that can handle big planes, is situated in Tunnaljafik Fjord at the southern tip of the state. The United States Ministry of Defense constructed the airport in 1941. Before seeing the relatively short 6,000-foot, 1,822-meter runway, pilots have to contend with strong winds, intense turbulence, and wind shear in a hilly environment. The pilots face many difficulties in the fjords, but a nearby volcano can cause even more problems. Very small glass particles, silica from melting ice, found in the volcanic ash clouds produced by the eruptions of this volcano can harm plane engines. Number 3. CONGONHAS Airport, Sao Paulo, Brazil. The 12 million residents of Sao Paulo are served by this regional airport, which is said to be located in a heavily built-up portion of the large metropolis and gives you the feeling that you are brushing the roofs of high-rise buildings when you land. This airport is among the most hazardous in the world because of the busy metropolis rising up from the ground, and the runway is regarded as the most slippery in the world and has caused an enormous number of deadly crashes. Number 2. Ice Runway, Antarctica. Ice Runway doesn't have any tarmac, one of the 3 main airstrips used to transport supplies and scientists to McMurdo Station in the Antarctica. It is entirely made of, you guessed it, ice. Pilots have to keep an eye out for things like ice breaking under the weight of the plane and its cargo, as well as the usual hazards of flying in extreme weather like snowstorms and high winds. Number 1. Wellington International Airport, New Zealand. Landing planes at this airport is a hard task due to the airport's short runway, between 1,828 and 2,012 metres, and unfavourable weather conditions. Being one of the windiest towns in the world, this New Zealand airstrip is not for the faint-hearted due to its turbulence during flights and difficult landings. With that, we conclude our video today. Let us know what you think about these airports in the comments section below.